to Denise and to all of you here this morning. I'll just say some very brief comments. The Energy Chamber has been working extremely closely with Export TT over the last year on promoting energy services. We have a whole series of activities which we have jointly put together. This particular workshop came out of the analysis we did approximately a year ago here in this very room of what some of the key problems were which faced service exporters, and one of them was how to market themselves internationally. Because I think that exporting services is very different from exporting products. With a product, you can give somebody a sample, people can see it, they can touch it, they know they can try it, and you can try a container to send into market and see how it goes, and if you get the distribution channels right, then you can build on it. With a service, it's much more intangible. It's often about marketing the people behind it and how do you market the people behind it. I think that we have some key weaknesses from Trinidad and Tobago. One of them is our very, very low brand recognition of Trinidad and Tobago as a country. So we're not in a position where a country such as Jamaica is, where they have a very strong brand recognition around the world. Trinidad have a very weak brand recognition. So that's something which we have to overcome as exporters of services from Trinidad and Tobago. I also think that many of our service companies have do not invest very much in marketing and branding of themselves. They are often technically very strong. They are run by engineers, engineers then become entrepreneurs. They're very technically strong. They know what they're doing, but they're not very good at selling what they do. And I think that that's a general weakness which exists in many of our service companies. I make that comment based on simply based upon having sat through probably now many hundreds of presentations from our member companies on trade missions all around the world. And I can probably say out of the many hundreds of presentations, I would, including our own presentations from the Chamber, I would include in this as well. I'd probably say that out of those many hundreds I've sat through, I've probably sat through 3 or 4 strong ones, and probably 200 weak ones. And I think that that's something which we have to do better if we're really going to be able to penetrate the export markets that we need to get into. So I think that today's session is perhaps just a start, and perhaps it's about lighting a few, sparking a few ideas, which we'll have to work on later. There is a national branding exercise going on at the moment, which is being led by Invest TT. Export TT has been very involved in that, as has the Energy Chamber. And I think that from what I've seen out of that national branding exercise, I'm really quite excited about it. It's been a very inclusive process, and a lot of discussion, a lot of dialogue across governmental agencies and some parts of the private sector, which I think now needs to be expanded. And there is a plan about how that's going to work over the next few months. I'm quite excited about that national brand. I think it'll do a lot of good for the individual brands of our companies from Trinidad and Tobago if that national brand really does sort of work and become a stronger representation of what it is that we are and what we do in Trinidad and Tobago. So I think that's something which we have to just watch for, and to try to find as much alignment as possible between the specific branding of our individual members, of associations such as the Chamber and the TTMA and others, and all the governmental agencies. Because I think if we can build that strong national brand, it really helps us when we go out there to sell our services. So with those few comments, I'll hand back to Aisha, and I will join in, because there's marketing stuff which I need to learn as the CEO of the Chamber, so I'm going to sit and be a participant in the meeting. Thank you.